in this chart, we will see that, the contrast between the stopover and cruise expenditures, the cruise passenger spend. And we know that stopovers spend more universally. This is not news, right? But given all that I have just said, isn't it remarkable that across the Caribbean, we've managed to increase our dependence on cruise passengers more so than stopovers, so in so much that, cruise passengers exceed stopovers by 5 million, even though the cruise passengers spend less. I find it remarkable that this happened. So I decided to have a look and try and figure out, why did this happen? Well, one possible explanation is the fact that, for example, based on the data I could find online, Carnival Cruise Lines earns an average gross profit per passenger in the Caribbean of about $640 per passenger, which is multiples what any Caribbean destination earns and about 4 times what Cayman earns. The motivation, therefore, for the cruise lines is clear, and they must be a very powerful lobbying force. And you will see in my report some articles that I've hyperlinked discussing this issue. But when we elect leaders to make our lives better, not to enrich the shareholders of the cruise lines, right? One of the other arguments that the authorities make, not just in Cayman, across the Caribbean, in supporting cruise, is that cruise passengers return as stayover passengers, okay? So it's a filter or a funnel. But guess what the data tells us on that conversion rate between converting cruise into stopover? Anybody wants to guess what the data tells us? There's no data. However, the Brea study, they have a survey that they do for the passengers disembarking. And one of the questions they ask is, how likely are you to return for a land-based vacation in this country? And that question in Cayman and across the Caribbean receives the lowest score of all the questions asked on the survey. That's the only data we have. They're happy about the restaurants and the experience and the taxi drivers and the service they got and the shops and the restaurants, but they're not coming back. That's what the data shows.